Mysterious objects in the sky have puzzled humanity for centuries, appearing in ancient texts, artwork, and eyewitness accounts from civilizations long past. But it wasn't until the mid-20th century that reports of unidentified flying objects surged into public consciousness, sparking intense debate and speculation. In 1946 and 1947, a wave of unusual sightings captured media attention, giving birth to the modern UFO phenomenon. It was during this time that the term flying saucer first emerged, forever shaping how we perceive these unexplained aerial encounters. But what if some of these sightings weren't just misidentified aircraft or natural phenomena? What if they pointed to something far more extraordinary? In today's video, we'll dive into some of the most baffling UFO encounters, stories so strange and compelling that they continue to challenge our understanding of reality. Stay with us, because what you're about to see might just change the way you look at the skies forever. A live webcam captures the golden hues of a sunset off the coast of Cornwall, England in November 2020. The waves shimmer under the fading light, and for a moment, it's the perfect seaside scene. But then something unexpected happens. A glowing orb enters the frame, hovers briefly, then shoots straight up, vanishing in an instant. The movement is so rapid, so precise, that it defies conventional physics. Estimates suggest it traveled nearly 3,000 feet in a split second. If true, this isn't just an unidentified flying object. It's something operating under an entirely different set of physical laws. Could we be witnessing a form of technology far beyond our own? Anthropologist Michael Masters has an intriguing theory. He suggests that if humans ever unlock the ability to manipulate time, we might be looking at our own distant descendants. Maybe they're us, he speculates, coming back from the future to study their own evolutionary past. If such advanced time-traveling civilizations exist, their spacecraft would have to function in ways we can barely comprehend, perhaps even manipulating space-time itself. The physics behind such an object is staggering. Earth's gravity exerts an acceleration force of 1 g. Modern fighter jets can push up to 9 Gs before reaching the limits of human endurance. Yet the acceleration of this unidentified craft seems limitless, stopping and starting with precision that should crush any known biological entity inside. No aircraft on Earth, military or otherwise, has ever demonstrated this level of agility. If this isn't a classified government experiment, then the only other explanation may be that it's something not of this world. But Cornwall is far from the only place to witness such strange aerial activity. Some of the most shocking UFO encounters have taken place in one of the most unlikely locations, New York City. One such sighting occurred in Brooklyn, just across the East River from Manhattan. A man named Hamid Vitalis was walking to work when he happened to glance at the sky. What he saw left him stunned. 3 luminous spheres hovered in a triangular formation above the city skyline. They remained eerily still until a passing airplane entered the vicinity. Then, in an instant, 2 of the lights vanished. The third lingered a moment longer before fading out completely. In the background of the video, Hamid's startled voice can be heard. "Where'd the lights go? Where'd they go?"
Where'd the lights go? Yo, where'd they go?
Sightings like this aren't as rare as one might think. According to reports, UFO encounters in New York City more than doubled in 2020. Some theorists speculate that extraterrestrial visitors might be drawn to the city's immense energy, much like moths to a flame. But skeptics have their own theories. An astronomer suggested that the lights Hamid captured could be nothing more than sky lanterns, their soft orange glow drifting quietly with the wind. However, an aviation expert disagreed, noting that the intensity of the lights ruled out lanterns or even drones. He proposed that they were simply commercial airplanes approaching one of New York's airports, turning away from the camera at just the right angle to create the illusion of disappearing. Yet not everyone is convinced by these rational explanations. Many who saw the video insist that what Hamid captured was unlike anything they had ever seen. One witness even claimed to have observed the same lights firsthand, asserting that they moved in ways no ordinary aircraft could. With no official statement from the FAA, the mystery remains unsolved. Could these be secret military experiments, atmospheric anomalies, or something much more profound? A flood of UFO videos makes its way online every month. Some are easy to dismiss: misidentified aircraft, camera glitches, or elaborate hoaxes. But a growing number of people believe these sightings aren't just random occurrences. Instead, they claim UFOs are appearing for a reason, because they're being summoned. One of the most dedicated believers is Eddie Garcia, an experienced UFO observer who has spent years studying these strange phenomena. On the night of July 5, 2020, Eddie and a small group of friends set up camp in the remote wilderness of Big Bear, California, miles away from the nearest city lights. But they weren't just there to stargaze, they were there to make contact. "So, we're 20 miles away from civilization, and I really wanted to show the new guys in our group ET craft," Eddie explains. He claims he has learned how to communicate with extraterrestrials, not with words, but through telepathy. And on this night, he says, they answered. As Eddie points a laser into the sky, a bright object suddenly appears. It hovers for a moment, almost as if it's aware of being watched, then moves sharply in response to his light. "I was kind of running the laser alongside the ET craft so that our friends could follow along and see it for themselves," he says. Eddie isn't just a casual observer. He's part of a movement known as Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, or CE5. Unlike other UFO enthusiasts, CE5 practitioners don't just wait for sightings, they believe they can summon them. Through a form of deep meditation, they claim to establish contact with extraterrestrials and invite them to appear. This idea isn't new. One of the earliest large-scale attempts to call UFOs took place in August 1987, during an event known as the Harmonic Convergence. Thousands gathered across the world, meditating in an effort to open communication with alien life. While the mainstream dismissed it as wishful thinking, CE5 groups continue this practice today, drawing in believers from the US to Australia. "We show peaceful interaction with extraterrestrial species and prove that there's nothing to be afraid of," Eddie insists. But the idea raises deep questions. Can the human mind influence the physical world to such an extent? And what exactly did Eddie capture on camera? Was it an extraterrestrial craft responding to his call, or just an unusual trick of light and movement? The CE5 movement has gained traction, but its claims remain as controversial as they are fascinating. What do you think? While Eddie's sighting was striking, it wasn't the only one making waves in 2020. That summer, a bizarre event over Miami left witnesses stunned and set the internet ablaze with speculation. A man standing on a high-rise balcony captured something remarkable: a strange, triangular object floating silently in the night sky. Its dark form was surrounded by 5 glowing lights, evenly spaced along its edges. But as he continued filming, something even stranger happened. A 6th light appeared, along with a much brighter central glow. Then, as if breaking apart, the lights spread out, splitting into 6 separate objects before suddenly shooting away at astonishing speeds. The footage bears an eerie resemblance to the Hessdalen lights, a mysterious phenomenon that has baffled scientists for decades. In a remote valley in Norway, glowing orbs have been seen hovering in the sky, flashing blue and white, and moving in ways no known aircraft can. Some researchers believe the Hessdalen lights are caused by ionized gases or natural electrical activity beneath the Earth's surface. Others think something far more mysterious is at play. Could the Miami sighting be connected to this long-standing mystery? Or is there a simpler explanation? Drones, military aircraft, or even an elaborate hoax? Whatever the truth may be, the footage continues to spark debate. What do you think? Real or hoax. Governments have long concealed their most advanced military projects: spy satellites, stealth aircraft, even the atomic bomb. But what if there are even bigger secrets being kept from the public? Some believe the US military is working on technology far beyond anything we know, possibly with the help of extraterrestrial allies. And one foreign government claims to have video proof. A piece of footage, seemingly routine at first glance, has ignited intense debate. It shows a US Navy F-18 fighter jet preparing to land on the deck of an aircraft carrier in the Mediterranean Sea. But just as the jet touches down, something strange comes into view. A mysterious, triangular object parked near a Navy helicopter. The clip was recorded in September 2018 aboard the USS Gerald R. Ford, one of the most advanced warships in the world. While the video itself appears authentic, the object in question stands out. Unlike any known military aircraft, its sleek, triangular design closely resembles descriptions of a specific type of UFO, one that has been reported countless times by both civilians and military personnel. Historically, UFO sightings tend to fall into a few recognizable categories: the classic flying saucer, the elongated cigar-shaped craft, and the mysterious triangle-shaped objects. This last type, sometimes referred to as the black triangle, has been spotted hovering silently over cities, darting across the sky at impossible speeds, and even, as some claim, appearing near military bases. Could this be one of those same crafts, except this time sitting openly on the deck of a US aircraft carrier? What makes this case even more bizarre is how quickly it caught international attention. Iranian state media seized on the footage, claiming it was proof of an alliance between the US military and extraterrestrial forces. According to their reports, this collaboration is part of a larger, secretive plan for world domination. While such claims are easy to dismiss as propaganda, the video itself remains unexplained. Was it an advanced military prototype or something not of this world? Let's hear what you have to say about this one. While the USS Ford footage sparked a geopolitical debate, another mysterious sighting in the US left hundreds of witnesses baffled. This time, it happened in Wichita, Kansas, in March 2021. Among those who spotted something unusual that day was Mike Mahler, a local building manager. "I was on my lunch break, just heading back to work. I was getting off on my exit," Mike recalls. That's when he caught sight of something strange in the sky. At first, it seemed distant, a dark object hovering motionlessly, but as Mike tried to focus, something bizarre happened. It zipped out of view almost instantly. No matter how closely he watched, the object seemed to defy the laws of motion. And then, just as suddenly as it appeared, it vanished without a trace. Mike was far from the only witness. When he uploaded his video online, he quickly discovered that hundreds of other people had seen the exact same thing. The comments poured in, people from different parts of Wichita describing an object moving at speeds no known aircraft could achieve. Kansas has a long history of unexplained aerial phenomena. One of the most famous cases dates back to 1972, when a teenager named Ronnie Johnson witnessed a UFO while working on his family's farm in Delphos, Kansas. The craft, described as a massive glowing object, hovered above the ground for several moments before taking off into the night sky. What made this sighting especially eerie was what it left behind: strange burn marks on the ground. Ronnie's mother managed to capture photographs of the unusual circle, and investigators later found that radiation levels at the site were higher than the surrounding soil.
There was a slight increase in radiation around the area where the UFO was compared to soil.
With such a history of sightings in the so-called sunflower state, it's only natural to wonder, was Mike's encounter further proof of something extraordinary, or was it simply an optical illusion or a mistaken identity? Considering the number of eyewitnesses, this case remains one of the more compelling modern sightings. A new kind of space race is unfolding, but this time It's not about billionaire tycoons competing to reach orbit. Instead, it's China that appears to be taking the lead in an entirely different kind of contest, one that may involve advanced aerospace technology far beyond what we currently understand. In October 2018, something extraordinary lit up the night sky over Hohhot, the industrial capital of Inner Mongolia. The city, home to 2.8 million people, was going about its usual routine when an enormous glowing object suddenly streaked across the sky. The unidentified phenomenon moved in a bizarre corkscrew motion, leaving a spiraling trail in its wake. Instantly, stunned residents pulled out their phones to record the spectacle. The footage captures what appears to be a whirling mass of illuminated vapor or smoke, unlike anything seen before. It didn't resemble a meteor, a plane, or even a conventional rocket launch. While rockets can sometimes create unusual visual effects, they don't typically perform erratic spirals or drift aimlessly across the sky like this object did. And launching rockets over densely populated areas is generally avoided due to safety concerns. So what was it? Was this a test flight of an advanced Chinese aerospace weapon? A secret space program unveiling itself in real time? Or could this be something else entirely, perhaps an otherworldly visitor making its presence known? The incident remains unexplained, but whatever this object was, it left thousands of witnesses in awe and raised questions about the nature of what we're truly seeing in our skies. When we look up at the sky, we expect to see familiar sights, twinkling stars, drifting satellites, maybe a passing plane or a meteor. But sometimes we witness something that defies all logic. On the evening of January 9th, 2017, Lucio Margiotta, a professor at the Music Academy of Salento in Italy, witnessed and recorded something truly unusual. At precisely 7:38 p.m., a luminous orb appeared in the sky, seemingly bouncing in place before slowly morphing into an elongated cigar shape. Then, in a matter of seconds, the shape expanded again, forming what looked like a glowing donut-like ring. Even more puzzling was the color transformation. The mysterious object shifted from a bluish-green hue to an intense white light before gradually returning to its original form and fading away. Lucio's footage is just the latest in a long history of unexplained aerial phenomena in Italy, sightings that stretch back over 1,000 years. In ancient Rome, historian Livy wrote about ghost ships glowing in the sky. Renaissance and Baroque artworks depict what appear to be flying objects eerily resembling modern UFOs. In 1954, a football match in Florence was famously interrupted when thousands of spectators spotted mysterious craft hovering above the stadium, or recent decades. In December 1978, the New York Times reported multiple sightings of glowing ring-shaped UFOs over Italy. The descriptions bear an uncanny resemblance to what Lucio Margiotta captured on film nearly 40 years later. And Italy isn't the only place where these strange transformations have been seen. In Oregon, similar accounts describe orbs of light changing form, sometimes appearing as solid objects, other times as glowing rings before vanishing. So what exactly is happening in the skies above Italy and beyond? Some might argue that these so-called light rings are natural atmospheric phenomena. Occasionally, halos form around the sun or moon when high-altitude ice crystals refract the light, creating a glowing circle in the sky. But there's a key difference. Those halos always have the light source visible at their center. In Lucio's footage, the light at the core appears to be completely obscured. If this were simply a case of atmospheric refraction, why has Italy seen so many similar occurrences throughout history? And if this were merely a drone, an aircraft, or a military experiment, why hasn't the Italian government offered an explanation? With so many unanswered questions, one thing is clear: some of the most extraordinary UFO sightings in history have taken place over Italy. Are these mere coincidences, Or is there something more to the story? Tell us in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel so you never miss any of our uploads. Thanks for tuning in, and see you in the next one.